last night with 23. Had a couple other guys that had some really good scoring nights for them as well. So really good SVC game, really good atmosphere, and it's what it's like late in the season in the league. So.
Yeah. Speaking of Frankie, we're going to have him on here in just a minute after we get back from break. But Zane Trace, they held serve last night, knocking off Paint Valley. Set up, a potential really big league championship game next Friday night in Kinnikinnick. Zane Trace, Unioda, the rivalry. I know the rivalry. It's going to be a great atmosphere. And Piketon with a little bit of an upset last night. They knocked off Westfall too. And some other big games coming up next week outside the SVC. You have South Webster. They're going to be playing Minford, and we hope to talk to Coach Shoemaker here in a little bit. But we're going to dive down into those games here in just a little bit. We're going to take a really quick break. When we come back, we're going to have Huntington sophomore point guard Frankie Hirsch join us on the Sosa Haynes Total Healthcare Basketball Coaches Call-In Show.
Kimberly. Tons of practice. One chop away from a black belt. 7 of the best sidekicks. And 5 years since her cancer diagnosis at Ohio Health.
Glo Fiber is now in Ohio. And with gig speed fiber internet, we're keeping things real. As in real, reliable speeds. Real people who really want to talk to you. Not to mention, real simple pricing. Switch to Glo Fiber today to get real fast, real reliable fiber internet and your first month free. Glo Fiber is here. Welcome to Glo-Hio. Call 1-833-WANT-GLO or visit glofiber.com to switch today.
If there's not a Par-Mar store near you now, there will be soon. That's the slogan, and that's what we believe at Par-Mar stores. From groceries to gas and all the other stuff you need, Par-Mar has it. Download the Par-Mar app for even more savings, and don't forget the Par-Mar Rewards Card too. We also believe in being a big part of your community, so look for us at the ball game or wherever you are. Shop us today, like us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and remember, if there's not a Par-Mar store near you now, there will be soon.
Hey, Mike Glockner here from the Glockner family of dealerships. Want to talk to you about our express service that we offer at every Glockner location. Did you know that you don't need an appointment if you need a routine service done to your vehicle? All you have to do is show up. No appointment necessary. Stop by and let us serve you at any Glockner location today.
See everything Southern Ohio Sports Authority presented by Ohio Health has to offer by visiting our website at sosaohio.com for complete coverage of area athletes and teams, including game stories, features, live streams of games, player and coach interviews, nightly scores, area standings, and much more. You can even view and purchase action photos from our more than 100 galleries. That's sosaohio.com for the best local sports coverage around.
Since 1853, Tomlinson Insurance has been protecting families, farms, and businesses in our community. As an independent agency, we offer personalized coverage for your auto, home, farm, and business, plus health and life insurance too. And we proudly partner with Erie Insurance to give you peace of mind with reliable coverage at competitive rates. Tomlinson Insurance. Let our history be your future. Call us today at 740-773-4181 or visit us at tomlinsonins.com.
Caleb Williams has transferred to Wendy's for the new loaded nacho cheeseburger.
This burger's my inspiration, and I just hope to inspire you.
Oh, you have inspired us.
Thought we were doing names on the headband.
Get it together. Choose wisely. Choose Wendy's new loaded nacho cheeseburger.
This broadcast is brought to you in part by Willie & Son Trucking. Willie & Son Trucking has been a proud supporter of local student athletes, coaches, and athletic programs throughout its history. Be sure to look out for the Shack Athlete of the Week presented by Willie & Son Trucking each week at sosaohio.com.
Welcome back to the Haynes Total Healthcare Basketball Coaches Call-In Show by Sosa. Haynes Total Healthcare has been proudly serving the Chillicothe community of surrounding counties, providing exceptional care to over 50,000 patients every year. Whether you're seeking chiropractic care, physical therapy, or nutritional guidance, we've got you covered. From athletes to seniors, and from pediatrics to geriatrics, we treat patients of all ages, helping you live pain-free, stay active, and feel your best. With a place in the top 1% of clinics nationwide, you can trust that you're in good hands. We're open 6 days a week, ready to serve your family for years to come. Haynes Total Healthcare Center, where healing happens for every stage of life. Call for an appointment today or visit us at hayneshealth.com. So we are joined here with Huntington sophomore standout point guard Frankie Hirsch. And Frankie, Coach Hoops was just talking there last night, had a heck of a game and, 23 points, but didn't play the first quarter, a little bit under the weather. It kind of seemed like a Michael Jordan type like game when he was sick. Talk about last night's game for you.
Last night's game, we played hard. We played really aggressive. We took care of the ball. We stayed out of foul trouble, which is our big problem. We'd get in early foul trouble, and then they'd be in the bonus in the first quarter, and they'd get up. But last night we did a good job about that. Rebounded. Played good defense, got a couple steals here and there, and we made our shots. We made lots of good shots.
You guys shot the ball extremely well last night, and I felt like a lot of that had to do with you guys handled the pressure a little bit better this time around. Played a couple different guys that maybe that didn't play in the first game. I know the freshman point guard didn't see a lot of time in that first game, and I really felt like he held his own last night against some of the better on-ball defenders in Jackson Zickafoose and Caden Cutright last night. So being able to get the ball into the half court in the scrimmage area and you guys being able to shoot was a key. I know it was a close game. At any time, how did you guys feel? Did you guys feel confident in the second half? I mean, did you kind of played like there was nothing to lose and kept yourself in the game? So kind of just talk us about the emotions and how you guys felt in the second half of that game last night.
Well, so we went into halftime. We were down 4, and when we knew we were down 4, we thought, wow, we really got a chance. And we came out really confident. We came out confident, shooting. They were going in, just kept attacking.
I think the one thing I talked to Coach Yerk briefly before last night's game, and I said, man, you guys have been playing better, and it seemed like the last 4 or 5 games. What's been like the biggest difference for Huntington the last 4 or 5 games?
We just been playing. We haven't been worrying about anything else. We just go out there and just hustling, got a balls to the wall, just everything you got.
I mean, that's what Huntington does.
Yeah,
that's their MO. That's the way they've been, forever.
I always feel like when we played at Huntington, when you walked in, the game started, you were already down 5 or 10 points just because the atmosphere. They're called the hustling huntsman, and that's what they do. They scrap and they fight and they do all that kind of good stuff. So, and I think I was going to ask you too, Frankie. I mean, obviously, Union has got some taller kids. You guys played some. You got kids 5, 6 shorter. You had 3 or 4 of them on the floor at one time last night. What do you guys do in games to maybe try to offset that deficit in height?
I wouldn't say we really try and do anything. We just box out. We have to box out. We have a lot of shorter guys. We have about 2-3 people over 6 foot. So we got to box out. We practice that a lot of practice. I wouldn't really say we try and do anything except for just box out.
Do you think that changing your defenses plays a role in kind of maybe how you guys just getting more comfortable with the different defenses that you guys are playing? And you're talking about boxing out. If you're a man, it's a little bit easier to box out because your guys around you. But when you guys switch up and go zone, now you're in an area, you got to go find someone. So kind of talk a little bit about that, about how your defense maybe has kept you in some games here lately, and the difference in boxing out of a man in the zone.
So yesterday we started in man, and we had to. Then second quarter we went and played a zone, catch our breath, take a bit, and then and then we played a full court zone, and then it turned into a half court zone. We didn't play much man until the last 2 minutes of the fourth quarter.
Yeah, I know you got kind of off to a hot start in terms of scoring out of your man, but a lot of that too was you were on the bench watching that, because having been under the weather and weren't able to start the game. So, what was that like, kind of just watching the game from the sideline and then coming in and have the type of game you had?
Well, I feel pretty comfortable doing that because last year I came off the bench a lot, and I think I play better when I come off, but I get to watch.
You better not say that too loud, or he'll start doing it.
I get to watch what's going on already, and I feel comfortable either way.
All right.
What you kind of really just burst onto the scene here. Just into your sophomore season, you had 2 really good football seasons. You had a good season last year in basketball, having a great season this year, averaging 14 points a game and some other stats. As a sophomore, you've kind of assumed that role as a leader. How do you ever feel like overwhelmed by being a leader as a sophomore, or how do you do that, to get maybe some of the older guys kind of on board with you? Just talk about some of your leadership skills.
Last year we had a couple seniors that I was really good buddies with in football, and they really taught me how to lead. And so this year I've just, tried my best because, my brother's coming up. I got to be a good role model for him. And then our freshman, Brendan Smith, we really want to take over the next 2 years. So we're trying to really set something.
I think being a leader at such a young age, Frankie, has a lot to do with work ethic. And obviously, all about that. I'm sure you've picked an apple or two or some strawberries and anything else that your dad makes you do on the farm, So just kind of talk about maybe your work ethic and how that plays not only as a leader but just as your overall game.
At practice, you can't really, that's when what happens in the games is at practice. You got to practice hard, pay attention when you're not on the court, and just be coachable.
Yeah.
What's obviously I know Coach Uhrig and Coach Hoops does too, and he's a loud guy and all that. What's talk to us about how he is in practice? Like, what's his favorite drill? Do you guys really aggressive? You going at each other in practice, or just talk to us about practice?
Oh yeah, he gets us fired up. He wants us to go hard at practice, and when we're not, he tells us when we're not, and he wants us to step it up sometimes. And he gets on you. He gets on you, and it helps a lot when he does.
I think too, and he probably wouldn't want me to say this, but like, it's almost like tough love. He's a big, gruff, comes off that way, but man, you can just tell he cares about his players, and he cares about Huntington. That's the reason he came back to coach basketball there, and I think it's a perfect fit. I said for a couple of years, to coach at Huntington, you got to be a Huntington guy, and Coach Uhrig is definitely that.
He's a Huntington guy.
I think that's the one thing I remember when I was coaching, Coach. I always told my kids the moment or the day I stopped getting on you, that's the moment I probably stopped caring about your development. And so I think it's one of those things. I'm going to get on you because I know there's more. There's more. You got more in you, and we're just trying to bring it out of you. So
yeah, Frankie made a great point about being coachable. Yeah. To be coachable, I mean, you're gonna have to take some criticism, and then a lot of times when you're the better player, if the coach can get on his better players and you can handle it, then the guys below you, they don't have any other choice. They have to be able to handle it. So yeah, great point.
What's been your most memorable basketball moment so far through your sophomore year?
Through my sophomore year, we played down in Piketon against Western, and Western's got they got 2 really good ball players, and we only lost by 3. It was a really close game. We had everyone played great. It was fun too. I had 27.
Yeah, 27 points is always fun, and you're talking about, you're a sophomore and it's a fairly young team, and your most memorable moment right now, and I want you to remember this, is a 3-point loss. Well, in 2 years, I promise you that's not going to be your most memorable moment anymore, because you guys have wins in front of you, and I think they're going to happen sooner than later.
What's kind of your goals for your team the rest of the season?
To get a good spot in the tournament. That's what we're really, really looking forward. And then we have 6 home games, 1 away game, our next 7, and we have 2 home win streak right now. So we can
2-game winning streak at home. So trying to keep that alive.
Yeah. That doesn't surprise me. Huntington, I'm telling you, it's a tough place to play. So, who's in charge of the music?
Oh, that's a big one.
Music? I'd say Carson Hanneberger, Sr.
What type of music is it? It's not Snoop Dogg, is it?
No, it's not Snoop Dogg.
What? Man, KB's taking a beating on his Snoop Dogg, isn't he? KB Perkins was in here a couple weeks ago, and that must have been their music of choice that night. But to KB's credit, it's a wide variety. Yeah. I mean, I've heard all of it. I don't understand any of it, but I've heard it all. So,
who's your favorite basketball player?
My favorite basketball player, of all time, Michael Jordan. But right now, I'd have to say I like Jared McCain, the rookie.
Okay. Who's he play for?
76ers.
76ers. Okay.
I like him.
Interesting.
Yeah.
All right, Frankie. Well, we appreciate you being on here. I know you got some places to go or whatever. I don't coach you.
People to see, places to go. I mean,
yeah.
we won't ask you where you're going, Frankie.
Well, we do appreciate you coming in here and talking to us, and wish you the best of luck the rest of the season.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Kimberly. Tons of practice. One chop away from a black belt. 7 of the best sidekicks. And 5 years since her cancer diagnosis at Ohio Health.
Glow Fiber is now in Ohio. And with gig speed fiber internet, we're keeping things real. As in real, reliable speeds. Real people who really want to talk to you. Not to mention, real simple pricing. Switch to Glow Fiber today to get real fast, real reliable fiber internet and your first month free. Glow Fiber is here. Welcome to Glow Ohio. Call 1-833-WANT-GLOW or visit glowfiber.com to switch today.
If there's not a Par Mar store near you now, there will be soon. That's the slogan, and that's what we believe at Par Mar stores. From groceries to gas and all the other stuff you need, Par Mar has it. Download the Par Mar app for even more savings, and don't forget the Par Mar rewards card too. We also believe in being a big part of your community, so look for us at the ball game or wherever you are. Shop us today, like us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and remember, if there's not a Par Mar store near you now, there will be soon.
Hey, Mike Glockner here from the Glockner family of dealerships. Want to talk to you about our express service that we offer at every Glockner location. Did you know that you don't need an appointment if you need a routine service done to your vehicle? All you have to do is show up. No appointment necessary. Stop by and let us serve you at any Glockner location today.
See everything Southern Ohio Sports Authority presented by Ohio Health has to offer by visiting our website at sosaohio.com for complete coverage of area athletes and teams, including game stories, features, live streams of games, player and coach interviews, nightly scores, area standings, and much more. You can even view and purchase action photos from our more than 100 galleries. That's sosaohio.com for the best local sports coverage around.
Since 1853, Tomlinson Insurance has been protecting families, farms, and businesses in our community. As an independent agency, we offer personalized coverage for your auto, home, farm, and business, plus health and life insurance too. And we proudly partner with Erie Insurance to give you peace of mind with reliable coverage at competitive rates. Tomlinson Insurance. Let our history be your future. Call us today at 740-773-4181 or visit us at tomlinsonins.com.
Caleb Williams has transferred to Wendy's for the new loaded nacho cheeseburger.
This burger's my inspiration, and I just hope to inspire you.
Oh, you have inspired us.
Thought we were doing names on the headband.
Get it together. Choose wisely. Choose Wendy's new loaded nacho cheeseburger.
This broadcast is brought to you in part by Willie & Son Trucking. Willie & Son Trucking has been a proud supporter of local student athletes, coaches, and athletic programs throughout its history. Be sure to look out for the Shack Athlete of the Week presented by Willie & Son Trucking each week at sosaohio.com.
Welcome back to the Haynes Total Healthcare Basketball Coaches Call-In Show by Sosa. Also sponsored by Glow Fiber. Internet services for today's show are provided by Glow Fiber. Delivering speeds and reliability to keep up with every need. From streaming and gaming to business demands, give Glow Fiber a call at 1-833-WANT-GLOW or visit glowfiber.com. Okay, next coach we got up on the line today, Coach Hoops, is Coach Shoemaker from Minford. They come in at 11-1 and 3-0 in the SOC. Coach, you out there?
Yep, I can hear you fine.
Perfect. Big win last night against Lucasville Valley, 65-57. You kind of want to break that game down for us a little bit.
Yeah, Crested Valley. You know, we got them pretty good in their place, and they came in last night and played with us even first quarter, and we're always kind of waiting for that run. And we got little ones. Second quarter, we outscored them 23-15, but they hung with us, you know. And they were able, third quarter, same thing. We outscored 17. Fourth quarter, they outscore us. But, you know, they come away with a 65-57 win. I think the first time, you have to look at the score, but I think they were high. I don't think they broke 50, but they limited us 65 last night. Valley did a good job, really spread out and handled our press well, and even out-rebounded us. Credit to Valley. It was a hard win for us.
Coach, and I'm sure you do you talk to your guys or make your team aware of, like, you know, the second time around is like, it's totally different. You might as well throw that first time almost out the window, just with the improvements that teams make. And a lot of times, you know, when you're the better team, they have nothing to lose. Is that kind of the feel you got from Valley last night?
Yeah, their kids stepped up. They have nothing to lose, and they got really aggressive. I think the first time they played the packed end zone, kind of played to our strengths, you know, and then last night just punched us in the mouth and keep cooking them and fought back. And it's second time, all the kids, you play against each other, not just twice. It's every year since you've been in, sometimes kindergarten. So they know each other. They know their tendencies. They know to force Miles left and try to keep him left. And they know to, you know, get physical with Bennett and try to, you know, don't let Jack catch the point line, get open shots. They know us well, and they play their best game, and that's the games that make us better, too. That's what we said. The RAD had a good thing. He said, you know, people sometimes are watching a Ohio State football game and want to watch, you know, run and gun and all this other stuff, but no, teams don't play in your hand, and they did a good job last night in game playing. Had a great game plan of, you know, long possession, and they hit the shot. They hit shots. They shot 40% from three and 60% from two. So they moved the ball well and took good shots.
Honestly, that's you're describing the game I watched last night was Unio to Huntington, and Huntington played about like Valley did. They hit shots. They played confident. They were on the road, and sometimes when you go on the road, you play a little freer and you're less pressure, and you know, it's just basketball is a crazy game, and I think that's why all coaches, you know, you get really, I don't want to say nervous, but you have those butterflies before every single game, no matter who you're playing, especially in the conference.
Well, especially, too, when you got guys, when you're walking into a game and you know they're thinking, hey, this is going to be like last time. It's just how kids are. And so their attention isn't, you know, locked in. And we talked about little things we saw, like in our press, we didn't get any turns. You know, Valley did a good job of putting their head down, and then we put my son on an island where he's either got a cover or a corner three or not give up a layup, and they hit a couple threes early in the first half. You know, kind of broke your back, as you said, and we just didn't do a good job in the front of the press, and usually that's not the issue. And other things, Valley make an extra pass where I think if they would have jacked shots early, we would have got possessions. They limited possessions. They made the extra pass. They did the right stuff to, you know, underdog last night.
Coach, I wanted to ask you, you know, it's no secret you're one of the top teams in Southern Ohio, and you know, you kind of mentioned this earlier, you know, getting other teams' best shot. What do you do, like, you know, to make your kids mentally tougher? Because you know that you've got that bullseye on your back and you're going to get everybody's best shot. What are some things that you do to help your kids prepare for those games?
Yeah, I think now it's just more paying. We said this year's paying attention to detail. They played basketball their whole life. And actually we're trying to be a little more positive this year because there's a lot of pressure. You know, you're a top team. You're going to get everybody a shot. We said it's almost like a sniper. If a sniper misses a shot, you've done it your whole freaking life. Take a deep breath, focus on what you're supposed to do, and that's like to Kobe. And this is older. This is an older team. If we had a young team, you couldn't coach this way. And just saying, okay, what did I do wrong? Why did I not make the shot? Not, one, was it a good shot? Two, was I off balance? Whatever. So really just focus on the little things. If we're switching, why are we on the wings really easy when we're, pressuring 40 feet away and you just let your guy catch on the wing? Well, that's a middle break that you can fix immediately. So just really to fine tune some things. And just little things like help side. Everybody does shell drill like crazy the first couple weeks. Trying to install it, we need to go back to it because I don't like our help side right now. So just try not to reinvent the wheel and focus on just getting better at everything we do.
Okay, that's good stuff right there. I know that you've got a couple non-league games coming up, but I really want to specifically ask you, kind of get a little preview, and I know you're probably not looking that far ahead, but you do have a big game next Friday night, hosting South Webster. Tell us a little bit about that game, what you anticipate.
Oh, well, we were going to play him earlier, so we already had Scout, and it's one of those teams that's a league team. With Eli, he's 6'9", and he's going to get shots off, and you want to try to make sure they're contested or to limit his touches. And when he's crashing the boards hard, he's at his best. And when he's active, he's at his best. And he's a tremendous player when he's on. So we know it's there. But it's the other guys they're all a bunch of guards who all do a specific thing after that. Schupert's a great finisher, real driver. Bernard's a good creator. And then all their other guards just guard really well, can hit the open shot. I've been super impressed here with a couple of the juniors, McClintock and Stevens. We got to watch a little bit of the game last night. Ours finished early. And their benches, they're probably the deepest team seen personally. Warren, I give Warren credit. They're phenomenal. But probably Webster locally, the deepest team I've seen this year.
So I know we asked you to look 2 games ahead. Who do you guys have tonight and Tuesday?
We got South Point tonight, and then we're going to Bloom Carroll. We just and that's a great Tuesday night. That's great scheduling on my part. Let's go to Bloom Carroll and leave at 3:05, where our kids don't even get yet. So that's good job. So however we play that night, blame me.
Well, I'm gonna blame you regardless. But anyway.
Yeah, I know that. It's been positive so far.
I couldn't help it.
Yeah, I know.
I am kind of wearing my Minford pullover for you today, but it says Ohio State on it. It's red and white, so I knew you were going to be on the show. I did this for 2 reasons. You, and then we've got Coach Easterday from Unioda assistant coach coming in later. He's a big Michigan fan. I thought I'd break this out, but no. I mean, obviously going to Bloom Carroll on a Tuesday, not ideal, but also, that's a challenge that your team needs. How are you going to handle adversity?
Yeah.
You can complain about this if you want, or you figure out a way, show up and see what we do.
Well, that's what we want to do. You don't play any home games in the tournament, and that's why we played Warren. That made us better. That made us so much better. Got beat right there at the buzzer. And, going back and look, there's always things you can fix, but, man, that's just a good game. They shot 9 of 17 from 3, and you're like, if they don't shoot that well. Well, that's Megs. They shoot that well.
Yeah.
They're a good basketball team, and they were there last year for a reason. And games like that make us better. We go to Miami Trace on the 11th. That's another Tuesday game.
Yeah, that's huge. And I've seen them there.
Yeah. So.
Yeah.
You go 22-0 and losing the districts. It's not really sexy. If you go 2 and win a district championship, that's a little bit better. So our goal is to, if we get beat in the regular season, get better from it.
No, I agree. I think right track. You're on the right track. Tough week ahead of you, and obviously always enjoy talking to you. Thanks for calling in, and good luck this week, man.
All right, appreciate it. See you guys.
All right, see you.
Okay, always good to hear from Coach Shoemaker. We're going to take another quick break, Matt. When we come back, we're going to have a back-to-back trio of Zane Trace with Coach Tyler Cassidy, Landon Gerald, and Landon Robinson as soon as we get back.
Kimberly. Tons of practice. One chop away from a black belt. 7 of the best sidekicks. And 5 years since her cancer diagnosis at Ohio Health.
Glow Fiber is now in Ohio. And with gig speed fiber internet, we're keeping things real. as in real reliable speeds. Real people who really want to talk to you. Not to mention, real simple pricing. Switch to Glo Fiber today to get real fast, real reliable fiber internet and your first month free. Glo Fiber is here. Welcome to Glo-Hio. Call 1-833-WANT-GLO or visit glofiber.com to switch today.
If there's not a Par Mar store near you now, there will be soon. That's the slogan, and that's what we believe at Par Mar stores. From groceries to gas and all the other stuff you need, Par Mar has it. Download the Par Mar app for even more savings, and don't forget the Par Mar rewards card too. We also believe in being a big part of your community, so look for us at the ball game or wherever you are. Shop us today, like us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and remember, if there's not a Par Mar store near you now, there will be soon.
Hey, Mike Glockner here from the Glockner family of dealerships. Want to talk to you about our express service that we offer at every Glockner location. Did you know that you don't need an appointment if you need a routine service done to your vehicle? All you have to do is show up. No appointment necessary. Stop by and let us serve you at any Glockner location today.
See everything Southern Ohio Sports Authority presented by Ohio Health has to offer by visiting our website at sosaohio.com for complete coverage of area athletes and teams, including game stories, features, live streams of games, player and coach interviews, nightly scores, area standings, and much more. You can even view and purchase action photos from our more than 100 galleries. That's sosaohio.com for the best local sports coverage around.
Since 1853, Tomlinson Insurance has been protecting families, farms, and businesses in our community. As an independent agency, we offer personalized coverage for your auto, home, farm, and business, plus health and life insurance too. And we proudly partner with Erie Insurance to give you peace of mind with reliable coverage at competitive rates. Tomlinson Insurance. Let our history be your future. Call us today at 740-773-4181 or visit us at tomlinsonins.com.
Caleb Williams has transferred to Wendy's for the new loaded nacho cheeseburger.
This burger's my inspiration, and I just hope to inspire you.
Oh, you have inspired us.
Thought we were doing names on the headband.
Get it together. Choose wisely. Choose Wendy's new loaded nacho cheeseburger.
This broadcast is brought to you in part by Willie & Son Trucking. Willie & Son Trucking has been a proud supporter of local student athletes, coaches, and athletic programs throughout its history. Be sure to look out for the Shack Athlete of the Week presented by Willie & Son Trucking each week at sosaohio.com.
Make sure sometimes that don't pick it up so when you talk.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Welcome back to the Haynes Total Healthcare Coaches Call-In Show by Sosa. And right now we're joined with Zane Trace, standout player, Landon Robinson. Landon, I was going to call you a guard, but you know, you look in the roster, it says point guard, shooting guard, small forward, kind of reminiscent of like
point forward style. Point forward, so, does it all.
Is that just like a game by game basis, like what position you're going to play, or?
Yeah, I mean, it kind of just depends on what our coach really wants me to do that game. Whether it's giving LJ a break, going down the court, dribbling, giving Gunner a break, or just playing out on the wing. Kind of just a game to game basis.
What are you going to do next Friday? I'm kidding. I'm kidding. You don't have to answer that one.
Yeah. No, I think, you know, Landon, I've got to watch you play for 3 or 4 years now, and I think the one thing that really stands out to me about your game is you can do a little bit of everything. Like you can score, you rebound, you can handle the ball, you can get a lot of assists. Kind of the same question I just asked you. Like going in, you know, you get the scouting report. Is that like a game-by-game basis? Like, hey, I'm going to need to score more this game, or I'm going to need to know more? Or do you just kind of get a feel as the game's going?
I think I just get a feel as the game's going. It's a lot of just how kind of my first shot goes. I'm a very mental player, so, I mean, if it goes in, then I'll keep lining up. But if I find out that my shot's not really going down, then I'll look to pass maybe a bit more. But I'm always looking to shoot. Rebounding is kind of just a thing that I try to help out with Gunner. And then wherever else I can pick up for the team, I try to help.
Yeah, I've watched you play since you've been playing, you know, and played some AAU with Blake. And one of the things that I have just kind of admired about your game is your poise. I just feel like you never get rattled. you never get too high, never get too low, but are always, you're just doing your job. Kind of just talk about your mentality throughout the game, whether it's, a quote unquote big game, a regular game. You just seem like you're just kind of steady through that whole deal.
I think that's just a lot of just mental and just how I am with my teammates. So I got a lot of confidence in everybody. So whether it's a big game or maybe a game that I know that we're gonna go out and win, I'm kind of I try to stay focused and play the way that I know how to play.
Yep, you guys are having a phenomenal season this year. 13-2, 10-1 in the SVC. You got a new coach, Coach Cassidy, out here. Is that difficult as a senior getting a new coach, or just talk about maybe the adjustment period? Was there one? The way you guys are playing.
Right.
I mean, during the summer, there was a big adjustment, just trying to figure out his new offense. But I mean, with the new coach, it's been amazing. I mean, you can see it with our record. Mm-hmm. We've really adapted to what he wants. We bought into a lot of the things that he wants us to try to do this year. And I mean, at least speaking for me, I love having the new coach. Everybody new, just trying to bring in like a new game to Zane Trace for us.
I think the one thing that's really stood out to me this year and probably helped you guys get to this 13-2 record is your defense. It seems like you guys are always holding teams to like in the 40s, maybe even a little bit lower, it's something, that Coach Kello, he didn't do. He never played zone. You guys are playing zone this year. Just talk about maybe your defensive preparation through the week. What's that look like?
We always have the same game plan. I mean, it's always just get out on the guys, pressure them. But it really depends on what team that we're going to play and how well they can shoot it, if we're going to go into 2-3 or not. Our 2-3 with Kel, I mean, we never did it, but with Coach Cassidy, we try to mix it up, try to make the other team adjust to what we want to do, whether it's slow them up or speed them up. So, I mean, it's kind of just a game-to-game thing.
Did that take a while to get used to? I mean, obviously, when you do play zone, you're still technically playing man, so you have your man principles. Like, that's something you've never done. Like, you've literally never done that in a high school basketball game, is play a zone, and then, now you're relying on it some. So just kind of talk a little bit about that.
I mean, yeah, it took a lot for, like, us seniors, especially, never playing zone coming up through the years with at least our program. And even, like, our younger guys, them never playing zone either. So, I mean, it took a little bit of adjusting, but, I mean, we're always still learning about it, so.
Yeah. I mean, I always told our guys, you got to play harder in a zone, which I firmly believe you've got to play harder when you're in a zone because there's multiple responsibilities. So, having good man-to-man principles, and then if you play hard in a zone, that just makes it that much more effective.
Talk a little bit. Obviously, you guys have a lot of kids coming back this year. You had a really good season last year. You got LJ, Gunner's back. But, there's been a couple other newcomers that played really well for you this year. Just talk about maybe some leadership or advice you've given them coming into the varsity, like, Grady and Noah. Just talk about those guys and how they've stepped up this year.
I mean, those guys have been phenomenal. A lot of that, what we've talked about, especially like me and LJ, just like, don't try to do too much. Just do what we know that you guys can do. And, I mean, they bought into it. You can see Grady doing what he does best, catch and shoot. Noah's the same way. Especially as us being leaders, we try to, like, get them to tweak their role a bit, maybe go in and crash a little bit more than what they did last year, swing the ball a bit more. So, I mean, but the young guys coming back, I mean, they've been absolutely phenomenal for us. Even Gunner, he's picked up a big role in scoring this year for us. I mean, he's a monster on the glass also, so.
Yeah, I think that's the one thing that Gunner does. I think I just watched you guys play at Huntington there a few weeks ago, and I think he had 7 offensive rebounds in the first half. I think he just garners so much attention boxing him out. It frees up guys like you and Grady and everybody else to get in there on the glass. So, obviously, senior year, what's been your most favorable memory for basketball up to this point?
I'll say, I mean, I feel like for a lot of us, it was playing at the Convo my sophomore year. It was just a really enjoyable time for me, but.
And you got to play with your brother at that time, right? The whole season, so yeah.
Yeah, that was a fun year for me, but I mean, other than that, I think a lot of it was coming out probably this year, that first game against Circleville, kind of just adapting to a new coaching style, new coach, new game plan. So
you got 6 games left in the regular season. for senior year. What do you hope to accomplish these last 6 games?
I really just hope to win out. I mean, not much else that we really want. Win out, go far in the tournament run also.
Yeah, you guys got a couple big games coming up this week. Westfall, I think Tuesday, Unioda Friday, and then of course you guys do have a game tonight in Greenfield. I'm just talking about league games, but big week for Zane Trace basketball.
Are all those at home, or do you have to go to Greenfield tonight?
We got to go to Greenfield, but other than that, everything else is home, other than a game against Jackson.
Okay. So. I'll ask every player that comes on the show, I ask them this question. I'm going to ask LJ too. Who runs the music in the pregame?
Oh, it's mainly LJ. LJ brings our speaker, but we usually get some guys that throw in a couple comments about music.
Go-to song?
Oh, I don't have a go-to song. I'm usually the guy that sits in the corner.
I can see that.
Me too. Yeah. The way you play, you're just chilled. Yeah, I believe it.
Yeah. What's your plans after high school?
I plan to go to Shawnee State, go into the radiology field. So
cool.
Going to commute down there.
Good stuff.
Good plan, man. Yeah.
All right, Landon. Well, appreciate you coming on and talking to us here for a few minutes this morning. Wish you the best of luck tonight and the rest of the week. I don't know if Coach Hoops will say that.
I wish you good luck. Yeah, I wish you good luck. I'll be a good sport about it. I don't have to coach against him. I just sit there and watch.
That's true. So, yeah. All right. Well, thanks for coming on, and best of luck rest of the season.
Thank you.
Kimberly. Tons of practice. One chop away from a black belt. 7 of the best sidekicks. And 5 years since her cancer diagnosis at Ohio Health.
Glow Fiber is now in Ohio. And with gig speed fiber internet, we're keeping things real. As in real, reliable speeds. Real people who really want to talk to you. Not to mention, real simple pricing. Switch to Glow Fiber today to get real fast, real reliable fiber internet and your first month free. Glow Fiber is here. Welcome to Glow Ohio. Call 1-833-WANT-GLOW or visit glowfiber.com to switch today.
If there's not a Par Mar store near you now, there will be soon. That's the slogan, and that's what we believe at Par Mar stores. From groceries to gas and all the other stuff you need, Par Mar has it. Download the Par Mar app for even more savings, and don't forget the Par Mar rewards card too. We also believe in being a big part of your community, so look for us at the ball game or wherever you are. Shop us today, like us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and remember, if there's not a Par Mar store near you now, there will be soon.
Hey, Mike Glockner here from the Glockner family of dealerships. Want to talk to you about our express service that we offer at every Glockner location. Did you know that you don't need an appointment if you need a routine service done to your vehicle? All you have to do is show up. No appointment necessary. Stop by and let us serve you at any Glockner location today.
See everything Southern Ohio Sports Authority presented by Ohio Health has to offer by visiting our website at sosaohio.com for complete coverage of area athletes and teams, including game stories, features, live streams of games, player and coach interviews, nightly scores, area standings, and much more. You can even view and purchase action photos from our more than 100 galleries. That's sosaohio.com for the best local sports coverage around.
Since 1853, Tomlinson Insurance has been protecting families, farms, and businesses in our community. As an independent agency, we offer personalized coverage for your auto, home, farm, and business, plus health and life insurance too. And we proudly partner with Erie Insurance to give you peace of mind with reliable coverage at competitive rates. Tomlinson Insurance. Let our history be your future. Call us today at 740-773-4181 or visit us at tomlinsonins.com.
Caleb Williams has transferred to Wendy's for the new loaded nacho cheeseburger.
This burger's my inspiration, and I just hope to inspire you.
Oh, you have inspired us.
Thought we were doing names on the headband.
Get it together. Choose wisely. Choose Wendy's new loaded nacho cheeseburger.
This broadcast is brought to you in part by Willie & Son Trucking. Willie & Son Trucking has been a proud supporter of local student athletes, coaches, and athletic programs throughout its history. Be sure to look out for the Shack Athlete of the Week presented by Willie & Son Trucking each week at sosaohio.com.
Welcome back to the Haynes Total Healthcare Coaches Call-In Show by Sosa. We're now joined with another Zane Trace standout senior player, Landon G. And Landon, you know, it seems like the injury bugs kind of bit you hard here the last 2 years, but you came back, you know, 2 or 3 weeks ago. Just talk about, you know, how you feel about being able to get back out on the court and play.
It feels great to be back out with my guys and just helping any way I can. It might not be scoring. It might just be, you know, getting the ball to Grady and Gunner, 2 phenomenal players, probably Player of the Year candidates. I mean, last night both had big games, and just doing whatever it takes to, you know, help the team, put the team in the best position to win, and just try not to do too much and getting into the flow of playing again.
You talked about getting into the flow. Are you starting to? Obviously, you played basketball your whole life, but it is different when you've been out. Are you starting to feel more comfortable out there now? The last couple games, just getting back into the flow, so to speak.
Yeah, past 2 or 3 games, the game's kind of slowed down for me a little bit. At first, I was like really excited to get back out, you know, and was really ready to get going, get some shots up, but. Yeah, the last couple of games, it's slowed down and felt a lot better.
Yeah, I got to watch your first game back out at Huntington, and, you know, obviously you got a nice standing ovation when you checked in the game and stuff, and I really wanted to watch and see kind of like what it looked like. I think the thing that, you know, I was most impressed with was you didn't really come out and force the action. Like you just tried to fit in a little bit. You know, you made the extra pass. You didn't force any shots, and you know, I was sitting there with my dad, and I was telling him, "Oh, he gets that first basket, it's going to go." But you never forced it. You just waited for that open shot. Is that something you were thinking about going into that game? Just don't force it, and just kind of get back into the flow, get the ball in everybody's hands. Just talk about, you know, your emotions and feelings getting back out there.
Yeah, I was pretty excited to get back out, and you know, when I came back, I think we were 8-2. We're already having a great season, and you know, guys are stepping up and playing in the rules that they had to for the first 10 games. And I was talking with my dad before the game, and he said, just let the game come to you. You know, don't force it. You know, it's going to come. And so, yeah, I was just kind of playing calm and just really just when spots came open for me, that's whenever I wanted to take my shots.
As a competitor, that's hard to do, though.
Yeah.
I mean, I know it is. And just talk about, you know, when you have something taken away from you, that already meant so much to you. Just talk about, I know it means more to you now that you're back out there. Just talk about your feelings with that.
You know, obviously getting hurt back-to-back years was tough. I missed, 20 games in my high school career, so it's been tough. But just always trying to stay positive and be the leader off the court as well, now on the court. So just always staying positive, and, you know, it can always be worse. So you just got to be thankful for your blessings and, you know, just keep pushing.
Yeah, I think that's the one thing, too, since you came back. You know, you guys haven't lost yet. You're 5-0. Your team scoring has went up, and, you know, you're just one player coming back. But me and Coach Hoops were talking, I think it was last week, that with you coming back, yeah, it's just one more player, but you guys have like 2, 3, 4 guys can run the point guard, and maybe you're not, you know, you don't run 9 or 10 guys, but you're all versatile. So, like, you know, maybe you can run the point once, Landon can run the point, and you got other guys. And, you know, I think the thing that it really helps is, you know, you're an All-Ohio player last year, so you're coming back. You know, you were the number 1 player last year on your team. But now when you're out, all these other guys develop and they drop down, and now you're getting some of that attention, and it frees up, you know, your other guys, Grady, Landon, Noah, and all those other guys on the outside that can shoot. Just talk about how you saw their confidence grow while you were out, and how that's kind of transitioned with you coming back to play.
Yeah, so start of the year, I mean, obviously I was out, so we knew we needed some scoring. Grady and Gunner both stepped up. Got a lot of confidence. Grady, he's playing with a lot of confidence right now. And just with this team, it's probably the most family team I've ever been on. We're all, close knit, and it doesn't matter really who's scoring. We're probably the most unselfish team I've ever been on. And Coach preaches that. It's all about, the culture and just playing for one another, and it's just the type of team that Coach has built, and it's really working out for us.
Obviously, that's huge, and you can and kids can say it, but when you're, I really believe what you're saying, because you can see it with you guys when you play, and I kind of really have, especially your group, as I've watched you guys grow up. Obviously the same age as Blake, so I've seen you guys all the way. I think that's something that I've always seen and respected with you guys. It feels like you guys you play so well together, and it doesn't ever seem like anyone cares who gets the credit. So, that's a credit to you guys, because and Coach I know has built up on that. I'm sure that's one of the things he noticed when he got there. But just kind of talk about, 5-6 games left in the regular season and a tournament run ahead of you, hopefully. Kind of like your mindset going into as it comes down the stretch, because I know as a senior it's hard because this is all you guys have ever done, and now it's like the end is here. So just kind of talk about your mindset going into that.
Just taking it one game at a time, and really enjoying everything, not taking any game for granted. Every time you got on the court, you never know, it could always be your last, so you just gotta really enjoy every minute you get out. And coming up on this week, we want to take care of business. On our court, obviously 2 big games, and then tournament run. We've always we don't like to put a cap on our expectations or where we want to be. We talked about that today, but we really want to get back to the combo and see where we can go.
Yeah, and I was fortunate enough to play in the combo. Man, it's just something special. Like, you walk out there, and gosh, I remember. How long ago has that been now, Hoops? Like when Chillicothe played Greenfield. Remember that place? That was packed. But it just seems like every time you're at the combo, man, it's just the atmosphere is just different. It feels different. And I know that's what you guys are really looking forward to. And it kind of leads me into my next question here. What's your favorite basketball memory so far? Is it playing in the combo or something else?
Yeah, Landon said playing in the combo, so I'll pick something else.
Okay.
Beating Unioda at home last year was
Come on, man.
Was good. Sorry, but that was probably, and then playing at the combo, of course.
Yeah, I just talk about the Zane Trace Unioda rivalry, because I know you're playing in it now. I played with your dad. He was a senior as a freshman. It was something fierce. Just talk about what that rivalry means to you.
Well, obviously, it's a little different than it was back in the day.
Yeah.
Everybody kind of hated each other, I guess. But
yeah.
We kind of all respect each other on and off the court. But when it's that night when we play them, we're rivals, and there's nothing we want to do but beat them. Mm-hmm. And the atmosphere is always great. Ton of people, packed house. So it's always the one you have marked on the calendar. And.
Okay. Who is pregame locker room? We asked him about music. Who kind of loosens you guys up a little bit or relaxes you, makes you laugh?
I'd say Judah Hanks. He's a jokester. Yeah. He's always doing.
He's an
something.
Underclassman, isn't he?
No, he's a senior.
Is he a senior?
Yeah.
Oh,
he's
okay.
a senior, yeah.
Okay.
But he's always doing something. You just never know.
Okay. What's your plans after graduation this year?
I plan to go to Ohio Christian and play baseball there.
Baseball, okay, yeah. Obviously, you're a standout player in soccer and baseball, and I think you've been the starting shortstop for what? Is it 3 years?
4 years, right?
This will be your 4th year. Okay, under Ron Allen.
Yep.
You like getting off that pitching machine?
It gets old a little bit.
Do not throw fastballs to Zane Trace baseball players.
Yep.
I'm just telling you. All right, well, Coach, you got anything else?
No, if I quit coughing, I maybe ask a question. But, best of luck, Landon. Obviously, it's been really great watching you grow up and do the things that you do both on and off the court, and wish you nothing but the best, man.
Thank you.
All right. Thanks for coming in, Landon.
Yep. Thank you.
Kimberly. Tons of practice. One chop away from a black belt. 7 of the best sidekicks. And 5 years since her cancer diagnosis at Ohio Health.
Glow Fiber is now in Ohio. And with gig speed fiber internet, we're keeping things real. As in real, reliable speeds. Real people who really want to talk to you. Not to mention, real simple pricing. Switch to Glow Fiber today to get real fast, real reliable fiber internet and your first month free. Glow Fiber is here. Welcome to Glow Ohio. Call 1-833-WANT-GLOW or visit glowfiber.com to switch today.
If there's not a Par Mar store near you now, there will be soon. That's the slogan, and that's what we believe at Par Mar stores. From groceries to gas and all the other stuff you need, Par Mar has it. Download the Par Mar app for even more savings, and don't forget the Par Mar rewards card too. We also believe in being a big part of your community, so look for us at the ball game or wherever you are. Shop us today, like us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and remember, if there's not a Par Mar store near you now, there will be soon.
Hey, Mike Glockner here from the Glockner family of dealerships. Want to talk to you about our express service that we offer at every Glockner location. Did you know that you don't need an appointment if you need a routine service done to your vehicle? All you have to do is show up. No appointment necessary. Stop by and let us serve you at any Glockner location today.
See everything Southern Ohio Sports Authority presented by Ohio Health has to offer by visiting our website at sosaohio.com for complete coverage of area athletes and teams, including game stories, features, live streams of games, player and coach interviews, nightly scores, area standings, and much more. You can even view and purchase action photos from our more than 100 galleries. That's sosaohio.com for the best local sports coverage around.
Since 1853, Tomlinson Insurance has been protecting families, farms, and businesses in our community. As an independent agency, we offer personalized coverage for your auto, home, farm, and business, plus health and life insurance too. And we proudly partner with Erie Insurance to give you peace of mind with reliable coverage at competitive rates. Tomlinson Insurance. Let our history be your future. Call us today at 740-773-4181 or visit us at tomlinsonins.com.
Caleb Williams has transferred to Wendy's for the new loaded nacho cheeseburger.
This burger's my inspiration, and I just hope to inspire you.
Oh, you have inspired us.
Thought we were doing names on the headband.
Get it together. Choose wisely. Choose Wendy's new loaded nacho cheeseburger.
This broadcast is brought to you in part by Willie & Son Trucking. Willie & Son Trucking has been a proud supporter of local student athletes, coaches, and athletic programs throughout its history. Be sure to look out for the Shack Athlete of the Week presented by Willie & Son Trucking each week at sosaohio.com.
Back to the Haynes Total Healthcare Coaches Call-In Show, sponsored by Sosa. We are now joined with Zane Trace boys basketball coach Tyler Cassidy. Tyler, first year at Zane Trace, and you guys are off to a great start this year, 13-2 overall. 10-1 in the SVC. Just talk to us a little bit about your team's growth throughout the year.
Yeah, we are off to a great start, but I think it's our seniors really that have led us from that start, you know, being a new coach coming in and the buy-in and the trust that they've had in me and just being able to, you know, switch a little bit of what we're doing offensively and even defensively principle-wise. I think in the past they've, you know, really funneled a lot to the middle and the helps come from there. And, you know, principle-wise, we do a little bit different stuff defensively. And I think they alluded to it, like even in practice, we learn something new every day, or we try to continue to get better and continue to improve. And that's kind of a mindset that we've had from since I've taken the job, and really easy transition for me going to Zane Trace because we just have really good kids and really good seniors and really good players.
That's kind of what I was going to ask you about. You know, as well as I do. A lot of times when you take over a program, sometimes it needs rebuilt, and you walk into a situation where you've got a really good senior class. Just kind of talk about that transition when you're able to walk into something like that.
Yeah, it's probably the easiest transition, I would say, out of any head coach like that I can remember of any recent time period. I was walking into a great situation with great players at a school with rich tradition of basketball, and I just kind of felt like who I am as a person meshed well with the type of kids that we have. Putting together a staff, that was one of the things that we were working on, and was able to get LJ's dad, Coach Gerald, to come along, and getting to know him, kind of seems like we're really similar in our expectations and our standards, and it's just things have really just fallen in place, and it's been a good fit.
I was going to ask you, Coach, first year at Zane Trace, obviously not your first year of coaching. You've been at Circleville. What would you say the difference is between like being at a school like Circleville in the Mid-State League and then coming down to Zane Trace and the SVC? Just kind of compare the two.
I think at Circleville, obviously you're playing a little bit bigger schools, but you have kids that maybe didn't graduate from Circleville. Maybe they're they have moved there. That the one difference that I see more than like type of kid or the type of schools that you play is at Zane Trace there's a bunch of legacies. Like you think of Landon's mom played and graduated from Zane Trace. LJ's dad played and graduated from Zane Trace. Like that stuff matters, and I think that builds upon your tradition and the expectations of these kids, and not just playing for themselves but playing for their families and taking pride in your school. And I think probably just having that legacy kind of feel and the pride from the community is a little bit more at Zane Trace.
And I would maybe venture to say that even in the whole SVC as a whole, like every school you go to, it's like that, and I think that's what makes it so competitive, night in and night out. Would you kind of agree with that?
Oh, absolutely. I think you have a lot of teams and communities that take pride in how hard they work, and we try to communicate that to our kids of, you're not just representing yourself, but you're also representing your teammates, your coaches, but also your family and your community, and they take pride in how you go about your business and how you play on the floor. And I think that is echoed throughout the SVC, and you have a lot of schools with kids that have that work ethic instilled in them, but also it's a hard-working community that's reflected in the stands.
Yeah, I think that's one thing about Zane Trace. You got Gerald, you got Robinson, you got McCullough. Those were all names like, I played against in practice or were just a little bit older than me that I used to stand up in the pit crew and watch, and that was a blast right there, just being in the pit. But
yeah, and I remember all that as well, because like I did play against those guys, and speaking of the pit, like what an environment that would be. I think that you guys should play one game in there.
I agree 100%.
And it should be the Uniota game.
I remember I played in the very last game in there, and I think we played Adena. It was my sophomore year, and the place was packed. There was no room whatsoever. That they had the bleachers up there on the stage. It was full, standing room along the walls, and the band would come out, and they used to make a circle around us, warm up, beating on the drums.
Oh, that's nuts.
The hair on my arms was sticking up the whole pregame, and it was an atmosphere like none other. And I would 100% support one game a year.
Oh, I think
one game a year. It would be crazy.
And I mean, like with that, like my dad worked at DuPont in Circleville, and anytime we played at Zane Trace, he would have to take a half a day off.
Yeah.
To get in line, to get in there. But like you talked about, like legacy and tradition, that's what you're a part of, and I just think it's really cool.
I think one of the games you were playing in, Hoops, we let out of school at 3 o'clock. I literally walked out of the building and had to go to the back to get in line, and the line was probably 100 people deep to get into the pit. It was crazy, crazy. Good times. But
you guys are talking about playing at the pit, and I would like to do that too. But these guys over here that you just had on are kind of like no way. They always talk about how it's unforgiving when you jump and you come down on the floor. It's pretty.
The floor is a little slick. I've repped a few games in there. You get that floor cleaned up. And man,
well, the other thing too is if you ever had to take the ball out of bounds on the sideline, on front of that stage, there's no telling what you walked away with on your back. I mean, it was brutal.
Oh shoot, yeah, it was an environment like none other. But no, we'll get back to this year. You know, you talk about, you know, you try to learn something new every day in practice. These guys kind of alluded to it. What's do you have like a favorite practice drill or something you go to maybe to get the guys going a little bit? Or
I don't know if there's a favorite thing that we do every single day. You know, we kind of start practice with the same routine, but we try to look at what we're doing well, and we try to continue to build off that, but also our weaknesses and kind of breaking it down into drill and how we can get better. You know, we do something defensively where we kind of start with a drill. Maybe it's approaches, or maybe it's working on sliding our feet the correct way or using your hands. But then we might build off of like a 2-on-2, and I'll throw it in with approaches, and then we'll go 3-on-3, then we'll do 4-on-4, and we'll have shell where I'm kind of controlling it with the whistle, and then it'll break into live, or maybe, you know, everything is just pass cut, and next time it's all down screen, and then next time it's all flare, and I think that's really good for us, and trying to revisit that at least once a week as the season goes on, because, you know, you get into weeks where you have 2 or 3 games, and you kind of get away from just your basic defensive principles because you're always scouting for different teams, and I think doing that once a week is always good for teams.
I think as soon as you said that, it just drew me back to when we were talking to Coach Shoemaker earlier, Hoops, and he talked about, I think he's got like a similar team, a lot of upperclassmen. He said, you know, teams work on that shell drill the first 2 weeks and maybe they forget about it. But with having a group of a lot of upperclassmen, it's something you can go back on. You can really get down to the fine details and keep building off of them. And that's probably one of the reasons why you're holding a lot of teams like in the 40s. And, you know, with as much offensive talent as you guys have, if you hold teams in the 40, you're not going to lose very many games.
Yeah, I think you're right on it. I think, you know, as coaches, we get into game planning. It's later in the year, and we think, you know, some of that stuff is, you know, we're high school varsity basketball. We should know those things. But, I mean, I think that you got to definitely revisit it and build it into their mentality and understanding where they need to be on the floor. And just helps with your rotations being a little bit quicker, I think, when they're in the right spot, and just kind of they're reacting. And like you said, I think that's something that as coaches you just got to continue to do throughout the year.
Yeah, and it's almost just you just remind them how important it is. But just talking about practice too, like obviously as the season goes on, do you save their legs? You shorten up your practice time? You kind of, I mean, a lot of coaches do it different. Some of them do, some of them don't. Just kind of what's your approach on that?
Yeah, we shorten practice. Right now we're going just about an hour and a half. You know, today we had an hour shoot around, but typically practice is about an hour and a half for us. And around Christmas time, we shorten it a little bit. And then after New Year, you get about halfway through January, you might even shorten it a little bit more. And that's typically how we go about the season.
What's, you know, we're getting down to the last stretch of games here in the regular season. I think you guys got 5 or 6 games left. What's maybe 1 or 2 things you're really hoping to like tune up or improve on to make this last run?
Offensively, we still spacing, timing, and detail we are critical about, and sometimes we get a little off in our spacing offensively when we're trying to run our motion. Set-wise, I think these guys do a good job of executing and being detailed with their timing, but I just think still in our 41 motion offense, we need to do a better job of, like, you know, just being detailed and our spacing.
I think it was maybe last week when we talked to you, you talked about more sets and doing more things. Is that just, and I don't know, bringing LJ back, has that allowed you to maybe do a little bit more of that? Or do you just think your guys are experienced and more comfortable now with what you guys are doing that you're able to do that, or a little bit of both?
Yeah, a little bit of both. I think a big part of LJ coming back too, not to get away from your question, is our transition has really picked up a lot too. You know, we talk about holding teams to maybe the 30s or low 40s. Maybe that's going to look a little bit different because we're scoring a little bit more, because the possessions in the game are going to go up because we're able to push it a little bit more and we have a little bit more depth. But Set-wise, yeah, when LJ came back, we wanted to put in a few things for him. But also we just tried to get our kids what they do well, what we know that they do well. We try to put them in position to where they can do that on the floor throughout the game.
Yeah, I think you bring up a good point. Sometimes stats can be misconstrued, like you look at points per game, but I think maybe the more accurate stat would be like points per possession, because, offensively the goal is 1 point per possession. If you can do that, that's really good. Defensively, if you play faster, there's going to be more possessions. So it's not necessarily the points per game, but, how many points per possession are you giving up? Do you have goals like going into each game on what you're trying to do? Or
I'll be honest, this year we probably set the least amount of goals. I don't think we've set really any goals. We talk about, winning championships a little bit, but I think we really talked more about standards, and we try to stick to standards, and we don't talk about having goals as far as how many points we want to score or hold anybody to this amount. We talk about just playing to a standard on every possession. And, in the past, you do the note card and 3 goals you have for yourself, 3 goals that you have for your team, and that sort of thing. We didn't do that this year. We didn't even pick captains. We just talked about having a standard, and we talked about having good senior leadership, and we just tried to be about that more than, setting goals throughout the season.
I think that's, the longer I coached, that was more my approach. Early on, as a young coach, I had goals and we talked about that kind of stuff. But as time went on, my big thing was just let's continue to get better. If you continue to get better and you have a really good team, you're going to be successful. And one of the things I've just really hung my hat on, the last probably 10 or 11 years was, just go 1-0. Just whatever we got to do to go 1-0, let's do that. And that, kids start buying into that. Because if you start, you start every season, hey, we want to go undefeated. Well, what if you lose the first game? Or we want to win the league. Well, if you don't win the league, now what's their mindset going into the tournament? So, I think, almost the easier and simpler you can make it, the better off you are sometimes. So I think that's a really good approach.
Yep, absolutely. Coach, we appreciate you coming in. I do want to say that 2 out of the 3 of us at this table have done the Snow Angel Challenge. I think they're still tied. If
There's not enough snow out there.
Well, it's ice now. You can do the Ice Angel Challenge.
That's not a thing. You are literally the first one I saw do it, though. So
I had no idea what it was.
I'll give you credit.
I'll
give you credit. Yep.
All right, Coach. Well, appreciate you coming in here. Best of luck tonight, and I know you got a big week coming up. Wish you the best of luck then.
Yep.
Thank you.
Good luck, Coach.
Kimberly. Tons of practice. 1 chop away from a black belt. 7 of the best sidekicks. And 5 years since her cancer diagnosis at Ohio Health.
Glo Fiber is now in Ohio. And with gig speed fiber internet, we're keeping things real. As in real reliable speeds. Real people who really want to talk to you. Not to mention, real simple pricing. Switch to Glo Fiber today to get real fast, real reliable fiber internet and your first month free. Glo Fiber is here. Welcome to Glo-Hio. Call 1-833-WANT-GLO or visit glofiber.com to switch today.
If there's not a Par-Mar store near you now, there will be soon. That's the slogan, and that's what we believe at Par-Mar stores. From groceries to gas and all the other stuff you need, Par-Mar has it. Download the Par-Mar app for even more savings, and don't forget the Par-Mar rewards card too. We also believe in being a big part of your community, so look for us at the ball game or wherever you are. Shop us today, like us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and remember, if there's not a Par-Mar store near you now, there will be soon.
Hey, Mike Glockner here from the Glockner family of dealerships. Want to talk to you about our express service that we offer at every Glockner location. Did you know that you don't need an appointment if you need a routine service done to your vehicle? All you have to do is show up. No appointment necessary. Stop by and let us serve you at any Glockner location today.
See everything Southern Ohio Sports Authority presented by Ohio Health has to offer by visiting our website at sosaohio.com for complete coverage of area athletes and teams, including game stories, features, live streams of games, player and coach interviews, nightly scores, area standings, and much more. You can even view and purchase action photos from our more than 100 galleries. That's sosaohio.com for the best local sports coverage around.
Since 1853, Tomlinson Insurance has been protecting families, farms, and businesses in our community. As an independent agency, we offer personalized coverage for your auto, home, farm, and business, plus health and life insurance too. And we proudly partner with Erie Insurance to give you peace of mind with reliable coverage at competitive rates. Tomlinson Insurance. Let our history be your future. Call us today at 740-773-4181 or visit us at tomlinsonins.com.
Caleb Williams has transferred to Wendy's for the new loaded nacho cheeseburger.
This burger's my inspiration, and I just hope to inspire you.
Oh, you have inspired us.
Thought we were doing names on the headband.
Get it together. Choose wisely. Choose Wendy's new loaded nacho cheeseburger.
This broadcast is brought to you in part by Willie & Son Trucking. Willie & Son Trucking has been a proud supporter of local student athletes, coaches, and athletic programs throughout its history. Be sure to look out for the Shack Athlete of the Week presented by Willie & Son Trucking each week at sosaohio.com.
Welcome back to the Haynes Total Healthcare Basketball Coaches Call-In Show. Joining us now is longtime Unioda boys basketball assistant Nick Easterday. Coach, how long have you been helping at Unioda?
Well, I coached, I think it was 8 years with Coach Hoops, and then this will be my 9th year.
9th year. I knew you'd been there a while. Of course, you were at a few different schools, just kind of been all around. And, is it coaching? Is that something I assume you've wanted to do basically your whole life?
Ball is life. I don't think I had a choice, you know, growing up in the gym with my dad. And, when I was playing, I wasn't sure if I ever wanted to be a coach. Like, I never really thought about it. But I at the end of the day, I don't think I really had a choice. You know what I mean? So, yeah, it's something that I'm passionate about. I'm thankful to be able to do it.
I mean, yeah, as a player, like, I don't think I ever thought about it either. But then when I got done playing, I was like, how am I going to do this without being involved? So it's just, I think it's in your blood, obviously.
We just said you've coached for a long time. Just talk about, what your role is as an assistant coach, practice-wise and game-wise.
Well, I'm thankful because, at a lot of places, some assistant coaches don't have the voice that I'm able to have. And I'm thankful for Coach Hoops for giving me that for 8 years, and Coach Combs. This year I have more of an offensive focus and skill development. So that's really what I'm focused on in practice. Coach Combs lets me kind of run the skill development piece in practice and game planning from an offensive approach. So that's kind of been my focus, and really it's been good. It's allowed me to, because sometimes when you're on the bench or you're in practice and you're trying to think how can we help offense, how can we help defense, how can we help baseline and bounds. I kind of have just an offensive approach this year, and it's really been good.
Yeah, I've talked to Coach Combs a couple of times, and I'm familiar with where he was at Vinton County, and I'm sure you are a little bit too. He said you were like the Jared Albright down at Vinton County, and just always has great practice drills, great skill development drills. What's maybe 2 or 3 of your favorite drills to develop some players offensively?
Yeah, we like to do a lot of 3-on-0 stuff, breakdowns within our offense, and I think it's really helped us. We try to do a lot of different things within our 4-out-1-in dribble drive motion, and we do a lot of stuff 3-on-0, depending on how the defense is going to guard us that week, and I think that's something that's really helped us. I'm a big believer in working on things 1-on-0 to 2-on-0 to 3-on-0, not only from a defensive perspective, but from an offensive perspective too. So that's something we do almost every day.
Absolutely. So,
and obviously he's really good at what he does. It's just it's amazing how he's able to communicate this with these guys, because a lot of times players don't I mean, practice isn't what they like to do, but all Coach E's drills and the things that he does with these guys, man, they buy into it, and you can see it, pay off. Obviously, I'm not in practice this year, but I can see what they're working on, and I know that that's carrying over from what he's doing in practice. So, it's just I was lucky to have him. Coach Combs lucky to have him, but Coach, just kind of talk about that mindset as an assistant coach that you have to have, because from a head coach's point of view, and I was always lucky to have you. I'm out there, you're kind of, I'm just coaching the whole game. I'm focusing on the referees. What are they calling? What are they not calling? How do we have to adjust our defense? At the flow of the game. Just kind of talk about, like, as you're sitting over there, like, what's going through your mind as the game's going.
Yeah, well, you're trying to think 2 or 3 plays ahead, really, I think, as an assistant. Trying to really focus on what the defense is doing and how we can attack it. Thinking 2 or 3 plays ahead. And I think the main role as an assistant is to make life easier for the head coach, whether that's in practice or whether that's in the game. So, yeah, I think, trying to think ahead, giving simple yet effective reminders to the head coach, especially during timeouts, because you know how it is. Like, during a timeout, it goes like that. Yep. And if you got 3 or 4 voices trying to give you a paragraph, it's way too much. Yeah. So simple and effective, and just trying to stay on top of things.
Right. Coach, just from the 4 years I helped with Coach Combs, it seemed like he always had like maybe 10 to 15, maybe I'll just call them quick hitters, maybe 6 to 10 out of bounds plays. But going into each game, you're not really running every play. Like you're looking to see how the defense is guarding you. Is that still the same type of stuff that he's doing over there? Just, hey, they're going underneath screens, so we're going to do more popping out, or they're chasing us, we're curled at the basket. It's, just talk about how much film you guys watch and just your pregame preparation to get to that point.
No question. You're absolutely right. And that's exactly where scouting comes into play. Is a team switching? Are they going under ball screens? Are they trapping us? What are they doing? And Coach Combs and I have a sit down, before the game, and we talk about what actions we like, where do we want the ball to get, when we want it to get there, and what actions we like, depending on what the defense is doing. So that's something that comes with film preparation, and before every game, Coach Combs and I talk about what we like.
Now, obviously, you guys had a really great start to the year, 15-2 overall, 10-1 right now, and it's Coach Combs' first year. However, you've been there for a long time. Talk about, has there been any situations or instances where you've maybe tried to play middleman between the players that have played for Coach Hoops for a while and now adjusting to Coach Combs? Just talk about maybe how you've kind of closed the gap a little bit. Yeah,
I guess so. I think the relationship between the players and Coach Combs is really good. I think we have a good relationship with the group. I guess, they obviously be a little more familiar with me before the season. But, no, I just try to be myself. And, be there for the players. But Coach Combs has developed a really good relationship with the guys, and I think the results have shown that.
Well, we just talked to Coach Cassidy, and he walked into a really good senior class at Zane Trace.
Combs did, too.
And I think it's one of the factors that played in my role of kind of stepping aside was I never wanted someone to have to kind of go through what I had to go through to basically rebuild it. And high school basketball, that's the way it works. It's cyclical, and it rolls that way. And I think that with Coach Combs walking into a senior class that has 3 players that have played for 3 years, Coach E's still there, and I think that those guys, and I don't want to speak for Coach Combs, but have made it probably a smooth transition. You know what I mean? And it's not like Matt wasn't in the school. He's been in the school for the last 2 years, so he knows these guys. But one of my biggest questions, Coach, is Coach Combs allow you to bring in your practice set of your Sinex, your hand sanitizer, your ugly Michigan keychain, and
I've got my medicine cabinet and all my Michigan stuff there on the stage.
Okay. I just wanted to make. I don't know how you'd function without that stuff, so I just want to make sure that was still in there. Okay.
I wasn't sure that you were going to sit in the middle with him having that Ohio State.
It's okay.
Well, I asked if it was too soon. But then I remembered last year the Michigan stuff came out right away, so I didn't feel bad at all for wearing it.
You know, two things can be true. I can be happy about 4 in a row, and he can be happy about a national championship. That's
everybody's
kind of
happy.
You know, two
It's a
things can be
win-win.
true.
It's a win-win, I guess, maybe. I don't know what it is.
Coach, as you guys played 17 games already. I was talking to Coach Combs last night. Your season's just flying by, and then you got another big week this week. You got Jackson at home, I believe, Tuesday, and go to Zane Trace Friday. Then you're going to have 3 games left the rest of the season.
Yeah.
What's obviously one of your goals probably is to win the league, but just talk about maybe some other goals or some things that you guys are really trying to improve here as you head down this final stretch and into the tournament.
We're just trying to play our best basketball as we finish the season. So, whatever that looks like. And I know I heard Coach Hoops say it a little earlier about being 1-0. Well, that's still our mindset. We just want to be 1-0 every night. And if we do that, our goals, they'll take care of themselves. But no question, we have a big week coming up. Jackson's a really good team coming into our place. They, they can be a matchup problem, for some teams the way they play. So that's a really big one. And then, of course, the one on Friday at Zane Trace will be a great atmosphere. But as a coach and especially as a player, it's why you put in all the hard work, the sweat equity that you build up. It's why you do it, to be able to play and to coach in these kind of games. So we're looking forward to it.
Yeah, that's huge. I mean, and I talked to our football players. It just so happened the last couple years, as the season has ended, were our biggest games, and you're able to talk to your guys about putting yourself in position. They've done the things to put themselves in a position to make these games meaningful. Because if you flounder around throughout a season and now these games, well, you can quote unquote say they're a huge game, but are they? But at 15-2, they really are. And Jackson, I think, is a huge one for the tournament.
It is.
And then
Zane
Trace is a huge one for the conference. So 2 really big, and you want these at the end of the year, in my opinion, heading into the tournament. So I'm really looking forward to next week. Being able to just sit back and watch it.
Well, I think that's the one thing. That 15-2 record is very impressive because you guys aren't afraid to go play anybody. You lost to Westfall in the conference. I guess we call that maybe an upset. But the other loss was to Miami Trace, who's still sitting undefeated. And I think that was the first game of the year, if I remember right. And I know for a fact you guys have improved a ton since then, but just the fact that 15-2 and those are your 2 losses, one of them being an undefeated Miami Trace is pretty impressive. And then I was going to ask you too, Coach. I'm not real familiar about it, so I'll let you maybe explain it a little bit. Tournament is a little bit different this year, right? We got 7 divisions, so I was going to have you talk about maybe what division you guys are in, how many teams are in your, I guess, region, so to speak, or whatever, and how many teams are getting out, and just things like that.
Well, we're in Division 4 now. Okay. The first and second seeds get a bye in the first round. So 2 teams will eventually get out of that, which is a good thing. That's not the same in some of the other divisions. So that's really good. We are the 3 seed as of right now. With a chance to move up or down depending on how the rest of the season goes before the tournament draw. So we like where we're at.
Who else is in your region?
Well, Megs would be the 1 seed as of now. Jackson's there. Us. Teams like Washington Courthouse, Waverly, Vinton County. Just going off the top of my head. Some teams. Yeah. So it's going to be tough, no question.
Is Jackson the 2 seed right now?
Jackson would be the 2 seed.
Oh, that's a really huge game on Tuesday night.
Yeah, no question.
And the good thing, too, if I looked at it right, I think that with 2 getting out in the Sweet 16 they play. I think the Southeast plays the Southeast to get to the Elite 8. So, I mean, it's going to be difficult, but I think it's a really good path that the Southeast District has. They're going to at least get 1 team to the Elite 8 this year.
Yeah, it is. And I think the one thing that bodes well for you and Yoda is I think they can play many different styles, right? You guys have some really good guard play, really good athletes, but you also got some size inside. You know, if you run into a big team like Meggs or whoever, you've got KB, you've got the Mitchell kid, you've got other kids that play bigger than what they are. And I think that's the one thing that I really like about your team is just the different styles of basketball that they can play.
Yeah, we're really trying to hang our hat on our defense, and from an offensive perspective, we want to make our best offense. We want that to be our defense. When we're playing really good defense and we're speeding teams up and able to have great ball pressure, take teams out of what they want to do, that really helps our offense. We're able to create steals, deflections, quick shots, and that's the way we want to play. At the same time, in the tournament, you know how it goes. Sometimes you can get into a grinded-out game, and that's just the way it goes. And I think we're built for that too. Mm-hmm. So I think you said it. We can hopefully win in multiple ways when we get to the tournament.
And I think, honestly, that's what changed that game last night was our defensive pressure picked up and got a couple steals, and we were able to create that gap that kind of let us take a deep breath and settle down. But I know that, I don't know, it's probably been 6 or 7 years ago when we started talking about, is this going to win in the tournament? Right. You know, we got some personnel that we can do some things during the regular season. We can have some great success with it, but can we really hang our hats on this and make a tournament run? And I think that's one of the good things that you brought up and have always provided to me is this going to win long term? And, you know, to be able to play multiple ways just as well is huge, I think.
Yeah, I think the one thing, you know, you were talking about ball pressure and stuff like that. I think, you know, it just kind of the world that we live in today, I think a lot of kids think, hey, I've got to score 15, 20 points to make a big impact on the game, when that's not necessarily true. You know, you guys have a couple of really good athletes. I know the Cutright boy, he was really hot for you there for a few games, but putting him and Jackson Zickafoose out there, man, you just looking back on the football season, those are two of the better athletes in the SVC, and they can just disrupt another team just by getting after another team's point guard. And I think it's just important, and maybe just talk about those guys that maybe don't necessarily score for you, but they impact the game in different ways.
No doubt. Without those two guys, their ability to guard the ball and create havoc on defense, we wouldn't be having the season that we're having for sure. You know, Jackson Zickafoose is one of the best on-ball defenders, I think, in the area for sure. And yeah, those guys have really bought into their roles and accepted their roles. And you know, some nights we're at our best offensively when we have balance and the ball's moving. And those guys have also had really good nights offensively for us. Yeah. But they know and we know that it starts with our defense and their ability to create havoc and take teams out of what they want to do.
And I think, I know I'm keep going back to last night, but I feel like last night our scoring was balanced. We had 5 guys in double figures, and they all scored the way they were supposed to, if that makes sense. Yeah. Like KB dominated down low. I mean, he's under the weather a little bit. I think Blake scored a lot from the perimeter and inside out, made his free throws. You know, Jackson turned his defense into offense a couple times. So did Caden. And then Blake Fitch, you know, kind of took the second half over a little bit with his mid-range game and getting to the foul line. Just, you know, just kind of talk about that and how guys have kind of become more comfortable in what they're doing.
Yeah. Well, this summer we weren't really sure. We weren't really sure how many scoring options we were really going to have.
Right. I mean, KB was a huge question whether he was even going to play.
Exactly. You know, we weren't sure if we were getting KB at all at half the season. You know, limited minutes, whatever. So we're thankful for that. So yeah, like I said, we're at our best when we have balance, the ball's moving, and we're letting the ball kind of be the best player. That's when we're at our best. But we've had multiple games this year where, you know, Caden Cutright's had a good night offensively. Mm-hmm. Next game, Jackson Zickafoose had a good night offensively. Even guys off of our bench will come in and give us a scoring punch. Jack Welch and Isaac Coy. So that's been really critical as well.
Yeah, and you mentioned the Coy boy, and he's done some really good things for you at the varsity level, and you know he plays JV some too, and so I think that speaks a lot, just about, I think maybe his leadership coming from football. It doesn't bother him going down there and playing. Like I ref last night, he did a really good job on moving the ball. He didn't go down the JV level and like, hey, I got to try to score 30 points or whatever. He was being a great teammate.
That's a great point that you make, because if you think about it, his role in the football, he's a starting quarterback on a football team that's won a gold ball. Mm-hmm. And now you're asking him, hey, I need you to go play. You get 6 a night, Isaac.
Yeah.
Don't know how many minutes you're going to get at the varsity level, but I need you to go develop and play and make this JV team better. And he's, I'm sure he wasn't thrilled with it, but you'd never be able to tell.
Right.
I mean, he goes down there and he does it, and that's just, that's the type of kid that he is, and I think we have a lot of those kids at Uniona. They're just, they're in it for the right reasons, and that's evident with him. And Jack Welch is the same way. He goes down and he plays, but he also plays meaningful and contributes at the varsity level, which, that's huge. And in today's society, I just don't think that, kids will do that. And to get kids to be able to do it is huge, and it's credit to the program.
I think Coach Combs did a good job of expressing to those guys, and Caden Patterson would have been in the same boat if he wouldn't have hurt his knee, of expressing to those guys that this is best for your long-term development, and it's also best for us right now. Mm-hmm. It can be both, right? Mm-hmm. So them playing a couple quarters JV is important for their development in the long term, but that doesn't change their role at the varsity level.
Right.
They're still going to have the same role whether they play 2 quarters JV or not. So I think it's really been beneficial.
Absolutely. Well, Coach, you got anything else for him?
Not right now. I don't want to put him on the spot or anything, but no, I just I'll just say it. But I appreciate this dude more than anyone, man. He just he's a rock of the program. Stepping down was a difficult decision, but one of the things that I wanted to make sure that happened was he was going to have the opportunity to remain and be heard, and Coach Combs was 100% behind that and on board with it, and it's just, it's been great. I talk about watching LJ and Landon grow up. Well, I don't want to say I watched Coach E grow up, but I kind of have. It makes me sound a little bit old, but I can remember him running out with his dad's team as the ball boy, and then I can remember coaching him in high school at the JV level, and then coaching against him in high school, and then to have an opportunity to bring him back as an assistant. It's just been huge, and our friendship's grown from it. And he said ball is life. Well, it's crazy how athletics impacts life, because it gives you some of your most memorable moments, and you meet so many great people and are involved with so many things. So I'm just, thankful for Coach and really proud of him, and it's just been really cool to be, a part of his life.
Absolutely. Well, Coach, appreciate you coming on and taking a few minutes to talk to us today, and wish you guys the best of the luck the rest of the season. And when we come back, we're going to have a final update on Mr. Hoops and my 21-day cleanse.
Kimberly. Tons of practice. One chop away from a black belt. 7 of the best sidekicks. And 5 years since her cancer diagnosis at Ohio Health.
Glo Fiber is now in Ohio. And with gig speed fiber internet, we're keeping things real. As in real, reliable speeds. Real people who really want to talk to you. Not to mention, real simple pricing. Switch to Glo Fiber today to get real fast, real reliable fiber internet and your first month free. Glo Fiber is here. Welcome to Glo-Hio. Call 1-833-WANT-GLO or visit glofiber.com to switch today.
If there's not a Par Mar store near you now, there will be soon. That's the slogan, and that's what we believe at Par Mar stores. From groceries to gas and all the other stuff you need, Par Mar has it. Download the Par Mar app for even more savings, and don't forget the Par Mar rewards card too. We also believe in being a big part of your community, so look for us at the ball game or wherever you are. Shop us today, like us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and remember, if there's not a Par Mar store near you now, there will be soon.
Hey, Mike Glockner here from the Glockner family of dealerships. Want to talk to you about our express service that we offer at every Glockner location. Did you know that you don't need an appointment if you need a routine service done to your vehicle? All you have to do is show up. No appointment necessary. Stop by and let us serve you at any Glockner location today.
See everything Southern Ohio Sports Authority presented by Ohio Health has to offer by visiting our website at sosaohio.com for complete coverage of area athletes and teams, including game stories, features, live streams of games, player and coach interviews, nightly scores, area standings, and much more. You can even view and purchase action photos from our more than 100 galleries. That's sosaohio.com for the best local sports coverage around.
Since 1853, Tomlinson Insurance has been protecting families, farms, and businesses in our community. As an independent agency, we offer personalized coverage for your auto, home, farm, and business, plus health and life insurance too. And we proudly partner with Erie Insurance to give you peace of mind with reliable coverage at competitive rates. Tomlinson Insurance. Let our history be your future. Call us today at 740-773-4181 or visit us at tomlinsonins.com.
Caleb Williams has transferred to Wendy's for the new loaded nacho cheeseburger.
This burger's my inspiration, and I just hope to inspire you.
Oh, you have inspired us.
Thought we were doing names on the headband.
Get it together. Choose wisely. Choose Wendy's new loaded nacho cheeseburger.
This broadcast is brought to you in part by Willie & Son Trucking. Willie & Son Trucking has been a proud supporter of local student athletes, coaches, and athletic programs throughout its history. Be sure to look out for the Shack Athlete of the Week presented by Willie & Son Trucking each week at sosaohio.com.
Welcome back to the Haynes Total Healthcare Coaches Call-In Show. For a variety of healthcare needs, including chiropractic services, physical therapy, nutrition guidance, dry needling, stretch rehab, corrective exercises, lifestyle advice, and more, turn to Haynes Total Healthcare Center at One Health Drive in Chillicothe or visit 740-772-5957 or visit Haynes Total Healthcare online at hayneshealth.com. So we are back in our final segment today, and we're going to have a short little clip. Just we're finishing up our cleanse. I think it ends tomorrow. Is that right, Coach?
Yeah.
Day
now,
21
does that
tomorrow.
mean it ends tonight at midnight, or does that mean it ends? I think it ends after tomorrow.
After
so all
tomorrow,
through Sunday.
all the way through.
Got to get all the way through Sunday.
Now somehow I texted the group the other day. I'm not sure how this happened. I'm like 21 pills short on my gastrofiber. So I don't know what I did wrong, but
took too many.
Well, I must have. But no, here we just finished it up, and I stepped back on the scale this morning just to see, kind of get not a final number, but for the show today, and I think I've lost 9 pounds. Which, it doesn't seem like a lot, but it's probably the lowest weight I've been in at least a year and a half, I would say. I feel better. I think my skin's a lot clearer. I feel better mentally. And the other thing that, I went in and seen Dr. Brandon a few times. I put a lift in my right heel, and I feel like I'm taller, standing up straighter, a little bit more confidence in myself. And it's, I'm just telling you, if anybody's on the fence about it, if I can do it,
That's
you
a
can
fact.
Because Brandon already told me that he has some serious doubts about me. Not you, but me.
Well, he told me, and I didn't tell you this, but he's like, I think I'm only going to give Jeran enough supplements for 5 days because there's no way he's going to make it through it. So he was going to ration out yours every 5 days. You're going to have to come back to see him. But he gave it to you, and you proved him wrong. And, no, it's just, I don't know. It's just, it makes you feel better. Hopefully, like I said, it just makes you have better habits, and it's just it's a really good thing. I've done it for, like I've said, a while now, and it would be I've never done it at the same time as a couple people that I knew, and so that was kind of cool to be able to almost like network with you and Christian and Brandon, and just talk about different things, and it's a positive thing.
Yep, I think so. It's I keep getting asked the question by my wife, my kids, what are you going to do on Monday? You going to keep eating like this? And I just keep saying, I don't know. Because, like, I look, like if they're having chicken tenders or mac and cheese at the house, I look at it and I don't have that feeling like, I want that. I don't have that feeling. And, like, I guess I've been looking forward to grilled chicken, sweet potato fries, maybe some veggies from Chipotle, and
it
stuff
just
like
changes
that.
it changes your appetite a little bit, and I every time I do it, and I try to stick this, and I think Brandon might have told me this. He's like 80% of the time, like if you can eat well 80% of the time, you're going to be okay. And so I broke that down in my head. Okay, that's what's 80% of 21, because 7 days a week, 3 meals a day. That means you have to eat well 17 times.
Mm-hmm.
So you can allow yourself, 3 or 4. Maybe you're having pizza for dinner. Well, let's face it, your whole family's having pizza. You're just not going to sit there and not eat pizza.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Well, that's one of your out of your 80% that you're taking off. So. I just think it's a mindset, just like anything else in your life. If you have you have a growth mindset, and you have the right mindset and attitude, you're gonna be able to do whatever it is you want to do. If you want to do it, you'll find a way to do it. So again, it's a tough 21 days. There are some days worse than others, but as you get into it, you feel good, and you feel you just feel much better.
Yeah.
So in fact, my mom said, she's like, I took a picture of Jeran reffing tonight. She's like, I can tell a difference in him. So compliments from Cindy Hoops. She noticed.
Well, I appreciate that.
Yeah.
It's, I don't really feel like I ever got a serious urge to cheat. Like the thing, I'll be honest, man, this one hurt a little bit. It was a tradition. Ohio State going through the playoffs, we have Buffalo Wild Wings every night. And the championship game, I had to go pick them up. And they were sitting in my truck the whole way home. It was the smell. I got home. I was like, I looked at Ashton.
That's amazing.
I looked at Ashton. I said, what would happen if I eat one wing?
Nothing. I think you should have treated yourself to that.
I didn't.
You should have devoured one of those things.
But I wanted to a little bit, but I fought off the urge. But no, it's been the first 10 days were definitely more difficult. We talked about, we got to chicken day.
Yeah.
It wasn't that bad. Little did we know that we could have had chicken from day one. I'm still a little salty about that.
I still think that if you do it the right way and you limit that until the 11th day, I think that's the right way to go.
I think
probably
so,
because that's the only way I've ever done it. I don't know if I just wouldn't feel right.
So you're saying that we're maybe a little bit mentally tougher than what Brandon is, or?
I think so.
I think so too.
Yeah, I mean you heard him. Yeah. I mean, do you think he was telling the truth when he said that when he was driving down the road he would have stopped and eat a squirrel on the side of the road?
No.
How could he feel like that
chicken.
when he'd been eating chicken?
Yeah, he was lying to us right in front of our face.
I'm not buying it. So
yeah.
But anyway, I think it's a great program, and
it is.
Hopefully people have taken advantage of it and will stop in and get the benefits for themselves.
Absolutely. So, you got anything else to add on it before we cut off here for the day?
Big week. Big week in basketball. Season's wrapping up, and we're staring the tournament right in the face. So
absolutely.
Yep.
Big SVC matchup next Friday night at Zane Trace. If you're not doing anything, you and Yoda's traveling there for a league championship game. So also other big games around the area too. So Well, for Matt Hoops and John Bruce running the board today, filling in for Christian, who's under the weather, I'm Jeran Cox. We appreciate you tuning in and watching us here on this Saturday afternoon, and we'll be back next Friday night. Thank you.